everyone, welcome back to my channel. So what I wanted to briefly touch on today was a little bit about our position, because as riders we need to make sure that we ourselves are in the right position so that we're not becoming unbalanced, hence causing miscommunications to the horse. So it's really hard to be a really light, sensitive rider when you're bracing yourself against either the horse's mouth or the horse's sides, as opposed to being perfectly balanced in the correct position. So a lot of the problems that I see, they often come from the lower leg, so from our knees downwards. The lower leg is kind of like the building blocks for the rest of our position. If that's out, then the rest of us is out. So think of a building. If you were to build a house and you just sat the structure just on top of the ground without actually attaching it to the ground, it's not going to work. It might stay there while everything's okay, but if a big wind comes up or something happens, that house is going to fall down. So your position is quite the same. So if your lower leg isn't quite right, yes, 99% of the time things will be okay. However, if something happens, things won't be okay. Okay, and you won't be able to progress further. So think of the house, you're not going to be able to add another few stories on because your bottom structure isn't secure. So again, with your riding, you're not going to be able to move up the levels because your bottom structure isn't correct. Oh, don't chew on the rein. The flies here are so bad. Oh, he's going to take himself for a ride, he reckons. Okay, so I wanted to just go over a couple of the most common mistakes that a lot of riders do. So I'll just try and get him just a little bit more square on with you guys. Good boy. Okay, so the basic positions, we want our heel, our hip, our shoulder and our ear to be in a perpendicular line to the ground. So in order to get that, what we need to do is we need to have a really good seat, lovely tall back, eyes up looking forward, and we need to have a slight bend in our knee, keeping our heel underneath us and pressing weight down into our heel. So a lot of times what people do in order to get their heel down is they go like this. Wait a minute. I'll try that again without him moving. So rather than just stretching the heel down towards the ground, people will straighten their leg out. So they go, okay, heels down, and they push their leg out and forward. That's not correct. Heels down, you need to be in the saddle, you need to be gripping at your knees and you need to be stretching down. Another thing I like to tell people when they're having that problem of when they go think heels down, they go like that, is I often say toes up. So when you go to pull your toes up, your lower leg shouldn't move, as opposed to doing that to get heels down. They'll think, okay, got to pull the toes up and it'll keep them in their position. You're doing so well. Okay, so the other thing is not gripping with our knees correctly. So what happens is if we don't grip with our knees, then all of our weight just transfers down to the stirrups, again straightening your leg out too much. Although we haven't kicked it forward, you pushed all your weight down to your heels and now you're bracing on those stirrups. So you're going to have a very rigid lower leg. You're going to find it very hard to be able to give correct leg aids, because the second you move, because you're not gripping here, it's going to start to alter your balance. Good boy. The other problem with that is that because your knees are no longer holding you on and keeping you balanced, is that you're not going to be able to move your hands very much. And not that we ride moving our hands like this, but what you will find is that you're going to ride like that. Because if you try and lift your hands up into their normal position, into trying to be nice and light, especially when you go up into the rising, it's not going to work because you've got nothing holding you there. You're going to be like that, and you're going to have to try and go like that, and your hands are now the center of your balance, okay, as opposed to that. Okay, so they're just a couple of things that you might want to work on if you're having troubles with that. By all means, please, if you any further troubles, send me a message. More than happy to give you guys a hand with anything that you need. We also do online video lessons, so if you do have some video footage that you'd like me to go over, I'm more than happy to assess it and give you some instructional feedback. Anyway, that's all for today, guys, and I will catch you next Wednesday. See ya.